what we get for making fun of those pool people. You know what I mean? Make us look bad over here. Hey everybody, welcome to the Closing Beat. Happy Wednesday. How you doing out there? You know, we move one thing and everything sort of falls apart. Welcome to our show. We're financial advisors. We're a lot better with money than we are with technology, but I do appreciate you guys coming along and sticking with us here for today. We were actually just kind of having a conversation. It's a funny story. I'll share it real quick, and then I'll skip all the other stuff I normally do, and we'll talk about the markets. So we moved offices, and we're getting all set up. That's why things are a little messy at the moment. And I realized that a while ago, when we bought this house, we were fixing it up and everything, and I called a pool company to come like do the tile and do a new thing on on the bottom and all this, and it came over. And so when we moved into this office, I realized the pool company's actually 2 doors down. And so I stop in, I'm like, hey guys, what's up? It's me, where you been? So as I come and go, I'm now realizing that every one of them drives a Mercedes E-Class, but they also have the really expensive, like nice trucks, those big trucks that everybody in Florida has. And so I was talking to Cody about it, and I'm like, is that judgmental of me to kind of think like, wow, you're doing great there? Like, is it wrong? Like, can those people, there's like 4 of them, can they not buy a Mercedes E-Class working on pools, doing really nice pools, by the way? And so we were having that conversation. What do you think? Like, I didn't notice when he came and gave us the quote and everything, I didn't notice that he was driving a Mercedes. He might have been driving a truck. But is that wrong to think that, or was I expecting something different? Was that not racial, but like financially racist or financially insensitive of me to think of that, wow, you're driving that, huh? That times must be good. I don't know what it was, but so now I can't help but look over there and see this row of Mercedes, very nice cars. It's not my thing, but they're out there, and feel a little bit like, I don't know that I need a pool fixed up right now by you guys. You seem to be doing fine. Anyways, that's what we were talking about. Then we got jinxed, right? Because this whole thing didn't start on time and everything. But I just thought I'd bring that to you. It's a money question, right? I could talk about it. Speaking of money, let's talk about the stock market here today if you're joining us, because that's probably what you're here to see, and I got a lot to share with you. If you take a look over at the S&P 500 today, continuing that September weakness, just ever so slightly there, still very much in an uptrend. There's nothing to be scared of at the moment. We just have a little bit of a rollover in an otherwise very strong uptrend. So you wouldn't expect it to be anything different than what it has been in the past. Simple pullback around the 50-day. You get a quick snap back. In every case, it was a one-day event where we came down to what is known as support. We reversed course and obviously back on our way. And in fact, in a very strong way. Look at the last 3 times, very strong reversals. And if you're one of our clients, go into the dojo and search candlesticks in the classes section. I did 3 different classes to explain what each individual ones of these means. Do you know how many variations of these there are? There's actually only, I'll just tell you, I'm a nice guy, I'm just going to tell you. There's 13 candlesticks. Looks like there's a lot of them, but there's actually only 13, and there's really only 5 on each side, bullish and bearish, that you want to know about. So I broke that down in the candlesticks class, and this is just straight up like textbook what's happening in here. So all that to say that basically you got the S&P pulling back. Now, what I will point out is look at all the stocks that are and have been weak. I'll just start with the weakest stocks of the day because I don't have anywhere else to go. And look at how you got Pulte Homes. A little bit of a pullback. Now they said that they're going to close less homes than expected, and it really wasn't as less than expected. We kind of all knew what the game they were playing there. I've talked about it on the show. You got Freeport McMoran, completely different sector here. Look at UHS, different sector. Seagate, different sector. Schlumberger, back to oil here. Look at, they're all trending lower and have been trending lower. So I've been pointing out there's a lot of weakness in the stock market here. Even Twitter, right? Tech stock, big deal, always in the news seems like. All trending lower. Well, what happens? You have things like Facebook that have been leading the way. They're one of the heaviest weighted stocks in the S&P. All of a sudden, it's not sure what it wants to do right here. The last 6 days have been just sort of back and forth. Apple, big move on the iPhone announcement there, and today it sells off. All right. Netflix, we know, is super extended. I did the $650 calls yesterday. That's going fine. Very extended. It's not sure it wants to go higher. Alphabet, although it's in a strong uptrend, look at the last 6 days. It's not sure it wants to go higher. So what happens when The S&P 459 or whatever is trending lower, but the 5-6 stocks that are leading the way, throw Tesla in there as well, they're leading the way, all of a sudden are not sure what to do. Well, that's what you have here. That's how the markets work these days, at least as of now, love it or hate it. And so with that uncertainty, we're selling off, right? Weakness is winning at the moment. Really pretty cool. Anyways, we go over to the NASDAQ here. It remains the most overbought index out of the majors there. It is also the most overbought over the majors and sort of the minors, I guess, if you want to say it there. The S&P 400 is the biggest reversion to the mean. You could use the MDY if you want to take a look at that. And reversion to mean, I'm using the 50-day as the mean. So in other words, the biggest pullback towards a recent average is what I'm trying to say there. That's the S&P 400. The NASDAQ is on the opposite end of the fence. It's the most extended, sitting at highs. No question about that. If you look at the Dow, for the day, you've got Boeing week again. There you go. So Boeing week again. Ryanair was back in the news. They said we think that Boeing's prices are too high. Remember, they backed away yesterday from Boeing. Thought maybe they were going to Airbus for their airplane purchases, but they basically said, no, we're not really looking at Airbus. We're going to wait for Boeing, but we're waiting for prices to come down. How about that? You know, I always say treat your finances like corporations treat theirs, right? And I usually use the example of borrow money when you can, not when you have to, that scenario. Look at these guys. They're saying prices are too high. We're going to step back, right? Think about that. You have that in the real world going on right now. Cars, obviously the grocery store, things that you look at that some are needs and some are wants. Look at the things that you want and go, I don't know, I think prices are too high. I'm going to step back just a little bit here and see if we can't wait for better prices. Do I need to buy that right now? No. Anyways, biggest drag today is going to be United Healthcare and Goldman Sachs. Financials pulling back there a little bit as well. Again, not a big deal so far. The pullback is nothing outside of the ordinary, so you wouldn't have any reason to freak out about that. Are we going to try the Guess the Dow thing here? It's not going to pop up. You want to just tell them who won? It's not going to pop up? Well, it's not going to. I mean, you're going to.
What? You want to know who won?
Yeah, who won the thing? Because you weren't here. You didn't get to tell them.
Yeah. Okay. So our winner last week was Jay Gupta. He is a client, so he won last week. He was all over the leaderboard last week, and he came out ahead. So congratulations to him. He won the $100 gift card. Clients, remember, you have the option. You can pick either the $100 gift card, or you can pick you want your account credited $100. So yeah, do we have the leaderboard for this week? Are we doing that as well?
Yeah, we won't be able to put it up today, though, right?
That's okay. Our leaderboard this week. We got Victor, Frank, Silk, Thomas, and Ashraf. Those are your top 5 for the week or for Wednesday.
Nice. Okay, we'll get back on that with the technology and whatnot. You know, we're putting all this together. You know, can I get a pass on that one for today? All right. Hey, well, we looked at the stock markets, right? So we've done that whole thing. I want to point out something to you. I'm always looking at everything. You ever look at the VIX? Here's the VIX. I'm just going to use it straight up. I'm not going to use an ETF here. Looking at the VIX, all of a sudden waking back up above the 50-day. Is this time any different here? It looks like it's starting to wake up again. Volatility picking up. It's the right time of year to do this. But we've been fooled before, right? Look at all the times it's popped above the 50-day and immediately reversed back below. In other words, people buying whatever little dip there was with no fear of what's about to happen there. Remember, this is based on the S&P options market, and there's just no need to hedge for any, people aren't feeling that fear out there. But here's a quick note for you. When it's trading below the 50-day here, and all of a sudden it pops above, the average pop above is less than $1. If you're going to use the index, you just say 1 point. I'm going to say $1 because, well, that's what's stuck in my head. Now, if you look out 1 week later, it's averaged a complete reversal plus another 0.15% loss. So in other words, if you look at the VIX popping and you go, oh my God, this is it, world's ending, inflation, interest rates and everything, technically, well, and we all know, you would have been wrong to this point, but you would have been wrong 100% plus more. So the VIX popping above the 50 days really lost a lot of its credibility. If you look 1 month out, so we take every scenario where it breaks above the 50-day and we say, okay, what was the performance going out 1 month further? You know it's going to be down something because you can see the chart. It's actually down 2.64 points, or dollars in this case, if I'm looking at this. So in short, we remain in this world where volatility pops are short and then they fizzle out. Will this time be any different? That'd be a fun little bet to take a look at. But in other words, I keep seeing that. People saying, oh, there goes the VIX, there goes the VIX. It's already started to reverse yesterday's pop. I mean, it's just incredible how little fear there is in the market. Yet we're all sitting there going, how much is that? That doesn't seem right, right? Wait, what's the interest rate? That doesn't seem right either. What, you mean to tell me you don't have any of these? This is back ordered for like 49 weeks? Well, that's odd, all right? We all see it, but yet there's no fear in the markets there. Anyways, taking a look at Bitcoin there, it's now currency in El Salvador, and I talked about that yesterday. It is not property like it is here in the U.S. It is currency over there. There's a big difference. And you got the president over there being a little Elon Musk wannabe, right? See the volatility in Bitcoin? I didn't know this yesterday, so I didn't mention it. On Twitter, the president of El Salvador tweeted out, like this dip, I'm buying it. Something to that effect. He said buying the dip with the country's newfound additional currency. So how about that, man? Just out there tweeting away. I like it. Creating a little volatility. So another sort of headline thing to watch. Is he going to be that person that tweets a lot based on whatever Bitcoin does? It's going to create more volatility, something to take a look at. Looking at the individual sectors here today, you've got industrials, the biggest reversion to the mean in terms of the last 4 or 5 days, which is fine. You like that? I mean, everybody's looking for a pullback, so we welcome that. Basic materials, which I'm going to use the XLB, comes in second place, almost back there, continues to pull back even today. So basic materials, a welcome pullback there. There are currently 5 overbought sectors in the market, and those 5 are the ones that have led things higher. You can look at communication services, Facebook, Netflix, Twitter, things like that, Disney, of course. So that's one of them. Tech is another one. You can see, obviously overbought compared to industrials and basic materials that I've showed you so far. Real estate, a great reversal in real estate actually today, if you saw that. I mean, almost every stock that sold off yesterday erased everything that it lost yesterday. So a quick reversal there. You got healthcare, which I would argue can continue to be strong. It's overbought, but still worth it at this area here. So healthcare stocks still in the mix. And consumer discretionary, it takes 5th place in terms of the most overbought stock sector there. You really could take this off the list because it's kind of gotten quiet there. But in general, you have 4 sectors that have led the market higher, and they're overbought at this point. So you are paying more for it than you should. What do? Well, every other sector is weak. What if it gets weaker? Well, I don't want to buy something that's expensive, and I don't want to buy something that seems like it's falling apart little by little. What do? What are your choices? Not many choices out there right now. It's kind of interesting. Hey, out of the commodity majors here today, you got gold, of course, pulling back a little bit. Silver is actually the only one over the last 5 days that is positive, which after today, I think it gives it all back. Now it would be negative with the rest of them, but it's the best performer overall. You could use the GLD to look at gold if that's what you want to do there. Oil, basically flat, and copper down the most. Hopefully you're not playing along with copper there. All right, new highs and new lows for the day. There were 30 of them new highs, and there wasn't one new low. That'd be Hormel, but it did come off of lows. Super extended. I talked about this yesterday. It's a little bit oversold in the short term, right? That's a little bit of a, you want to bet on that, what could be a dead cat bounce, but you want to bet on that option there. I'm not in love with a lot of the new highs. Talked about Netflix actually taking a play to the other side there to see if it pulls back. So there's less than a 20% chance that by Halloween it finishes above $650. So do you like those odds, right? It's better than the Bucks Cowboys, right? Come on. Hit you with that. I mean, you know what? I got stats there. The Cowboys. That's an NFL team. You got Pool Corp, somewhat new addition to the S&P 500. Happens to be a stock that we own. Very happy with it. That hit new highs as well. Slow and steady. I'll take this all day long. If I could find positions to put in our portfolios, slight plug here, we manage our own portfolios. We don't go out and buy mutual funds for clients and such. And there's one major tax advantage there that I was explaining to a client the other day, and they went, aha, I didn't know that, right? That's what the wealthy get to deal with. We're bringing it to everybody. Anyways, Pool Corp doing well, hit new highs. I just don't see a reason that you would get excited to add more to it, start a new position. And that's where a lot of the new highs are at the moment. Really, if you're looking for new ideas, very tough. Look at Catalent, new highs here. These guys make you ever have fish oil? Or I don't know what else it is. Fish oil comes in a little squishy thing. They make the squishy thing. They don't make the stuff that goes in the squishy thing. They make the I can't think of the name of it, the squishy thing there. Anyways, it's really extended. Great company here. They make $500 million on $4 billion in sales. There's no complaining about what they're doing. It's just overbought at this point here. So kind of tough. American Tower is an example of the REIT reversal, right? So REITs sold off yesterday. You can see the immediate reversal here today. And I would go with extra storage if you want. You see the same thing. Pick any REIT you want. It's that same picture there. The problem is now you know it's in an overbought sector. It's an overbought stock in an overbought sector, and should you put new money to work there? How do you say yes to that? How do you get excited about that answer? You can, but I don't know. Tough one there. Hey, Bumble. Bumble's in the news. So you know Bumble. They're going to sell off 15 million shares. Yeah, they're going to sell off 15 million shares. It's actually existing shareholders of the company. They have this order they want to put through. Stock loses 3%, so it's not necessarily raising money. But I'll tell you who is raising money. Coty, C-O-T-Y. 50 million shares at $8.53 a share. That's the reason for the decline on that one here today. Also, NIO's doing the same thing, right? You're looking at stocks that sold off today. They're going to raise money because they can, not because... Actually, I'm going to find this real quick. Stay with me here. Just making my point, because I know some of you disagree with this. You go, well, I'm not going to do my personal finances, like that. It doesn't make any sense, man. It's not something I can do, and it just it hurts there. The CEO of NIO actually says, hey, he likes what Elon Musk is doing, and he says he's raising funds while he can, not when he needs to. The CEO of NIO, there you go. You love the company. If you don't love me and you like NIO there, listen to the guy. These guys know what they're doing. They're the smartest people in the room, even if you don't like their product or think it's a little bit weird, right? Yeah, all right. You hear me now. I just had to point that out. Just so it's not like Dustin's always saying this, this is what it is. Coinbase, a little bit lower on the day today. If you're scared of the SEC, then that's why you sold your stock today, down 3.2%. Something called a Wells notice from the SEC. It basically is just a, hey, we're going to sue you, and get ready. We're giving you friendly notice there. Not like we're threatening to sue you. We are going to. That's what they do. Basically, Coinbase, look, I would take a second on this one because this could be something that changes the way we save our money. Coinbase is basically letting you put money into a stable dollar, or a stable coin, and then they take that money and they lend it out to other investors. Well, they're giving you, I think, 3 or 4% on that. It's a savings account that is stable. You're not like investing in Bitcoin or something like that. Yet you're getting 4%. So more and more people are like, yeah, I can't get squat at the bank. I'll go put it in this. Right? Now, there's a little bit of accounting that has to be figured out there. They haven't sort of solidified how this all works. It's still a little bit risky because nobody's really willing to tell you how much money is there, but Coinbase wants to. Anyways, the SEC says, we're going to sue you for that because that's outside of our standard rules there. And you know what Coinbase said? They said, well, we physically knocked on your door looking for guidance, and you refused to speak to us. After we went public and proved ourselves and everything, you refused to speak to us. We then submitted all kinds of applications to you for clarity on what the rule is, and you refused to respond. So we're willing to talk about it, but in the meantime, we're going forward with it. So sue us because it's a gray area that there is no real rule on right now. So we're going to do it anyways. And you know what? I take Coinbase's side on this one. I certainly don't want the SEC coming to talk to us. We keep everything on the up and up here. But there's no real rule on this. And if you won't talk to them or give them any guidance on something that they're trying to propose, what's the real fear? The fear is that, people are going to take money out of their bank accounts and they're going to go put it in this. It's less traceable. It's obviously tougher tax-wise, although they're willing to work on that. And it's a higher interest rate. That's going to hurt the banks if the masses start doing that. So I think there's a little bit of tug of war there that's based on fear from the SEC's point of view. But anyways, side topic there. That's what's going on there, and I take Coinbase's side on that, which is about the only thing I agree with there. Sherwin-Williams down about 2% on the day. Just a couple more here. They lowered guidance. Basically, they're saying we have issues getting product. Right, the raw materials that go into our paints and our supplies, we have issues getting products there. Get ready for that to happen more and more. All right, keeping track. Morgan Stanley came out and basically said, well, we don't have to look at Morgan Stanley. You look at the S&P. They said, we suggest that you go underweight the S&P 500, which basically means you're going to have less of the S&P 500 and move your money elsewhere. I thought that was one that probably could have made a little bit more headlines, but it doesn't make for good stuff there. What else do I have? Tesla killed it with their car sales. Tesla just up a little bit on the day, kind of already had its pop there. 35% increase in sales in August, and they sold like 44,000 Chinese-made Teslas. Very interesting over there, how production continues there. And what else do we have? Oh, the government's coming after the IRAs now. They're starting to float those little things. Notice I told you by the 15th, we're going to have some real hard rules that everybody's going to wrap their heads around, and they're going to try to go push it for this new budget. Well, one of them is, if your IRA is too big enough, we're going to ask you to take out even more money from it. Maybe not even when you're over the age of 72, but earlier in life, we're going to ask you to take money out so that we can get some taxes to pay for the roads and bridges that are seemingly non-existent in the bill that they're trying to pass. So what does that mean? Why on earth would you have an IRA at a young age if it's just going to grow to a significant amount and you're going to have to end up taking money out anyways and paying all kinds of tax? Huh. Well, that's just one of the things that they're talking about there. There'll be a lot more. Like I said, there might be some grumpy Dustin days because, you know, when they come after things like that and they say, look, it's only the rich, I can physically attest that that is not the case. So I'm not coming from a point of, politicizing this. I'm coming from a point going, we have 7,000 clients. Naturally, some of them are going to be more wealthy than others, but I can tell you those with large IRAs are, in fact, not really wealthy people. Like they don't walk around like they're the bad guy that goes out there and squashes the little person. They're just a normal person that happens to have a big IRA. They saved the devil out of their money and put their money in 401ks and rolled it over and everything. I don't like it. I don't like it. We'll see what happens there. But anyways, let's see what questions you have. Happy to help you there with any questions you may have. Yeah. Oh boy, get you fired up about that. Yeah. Oh man. The manufacturer can't get plastics. It's everywhere. Yeah. The plastics that go into everything, by the way. It's not even just like the sheets, right? We're looking at things that make pool pumps. Look at Pool Corp, right? The things that they actually sell. It could be the PVC plasticky kind of encapsulation around a pool heater, right? The manufacturer can't get it, which means Pool Corp can't get it, which means Pool Corp can't sell it. There's a lot of that going on. So it's more than just saying like, oh, supplies are limited, but they're on their way. And it's more than just the chips as well. Yeah. They're just taking away the IRA a little at a time. Sure seems that way. They also are talking about bringing back the Obama rule on capping Roth IRAs in total, meaning you just wouldn't be able to put more, your value wouldn't be able to go over whatever it is, $2-3 million or something. And if it does, you have to take out 50% of the overage every year until it gets back under that value. Why? Just let people do their thing, man. Hey, Dustin, what do you think about starting a position in Visa here? Okay, so you're one of those that likes your pullback. I would agree with you there. Nice pullback, nothing wrong with the company. It's just, this is the market right here, right? Stocks that have pulled back like this. The index doesn't represent what's actually happening. So these are your opportunities as they happen. I wouldn't disagree with you there on starting with Visa. Could not say that's a problem. Yeah, sure do. You want to start a position on fuel cell. I can never type that one on the first try. Why? What's the thought there? So just from looking at prices, you may have a belief, a long-term belief, and I sort of applaud that. But right now, at this moment where you want to start a position, you have nothing indicating that this is the bottom. There was an attempt to come off the bottom that failed. There was a weaker attempt to come off the bottom that also failed, or is failing at the moment. So I wouldn't be excited about jumping into what is very clearly weakness in the short term. You know what I mean? You want to see something like a attempt at coming off the bottom that doesn't reverse itself right away, you get a little pullback and then it starts to tear off without you, fine, pay $7 for it, right? Instead of, oh, I could have got it for $5. But you know you're likely now starting to ride that momentum rather than you're fighting the bears here. You know, that's a little bit tough. Yep. Yeah, well, there's going to be a lot of proposals on both sides, right? So, like I said, they have to come up with something. They got to pay for this now, what, $4.5 trillion. So it has to be paid for. They're going to find ways. I just dislike the fact that they say, if you meet this criteria, you are a bad rich person. And that's how it's presented to try to get you emotional about it, and it's okay. Go ahead and pass that law. I'm just here to say, so far, everything that they've presented does not include, I mean, it includes what you may consider rich people, but it includes the average person, as not the average person, but a slightly better than average person who is not a bad person. They're just good with their money. They spent time saving their money, and that's where I start to get a little upset. Yep. Oh, yeah. Now, if you want to say, like, oh, Jeff Bezos, he can pay a little bit, I think he wants to. I don't think he has a problem with that. All right, if we're going to go play that game, you know, there's going to be arguments on both sides, but don't throw a $2 or $3 million number out there and say that those are the people. That is not the case. And again, if we were just sitting here in an office and we had like 20 clients, I couldn't make that argument. But think about the sample size that we're able to draw from. If something is odd, I'd be able to say, well, that's not the case. I can actually prove that. Like, why? Or yes, that's true. We only have a few clients and they have lots of money and they're really bad people and they did some shady things to get their money that way. Even still, shady is not illegal. We'll end it on that there. Shady is not illegal, is it? That brings me back to, well, who was it? Somebody with their taxes or something. Somebody found out, some politician, or maybe it was Trump actually. They found out, oh, he did something to like not pay taxes or whatever, and everybody's all in an uproar. Number one phone call I got was, can I do that? Is that available to me? Are there any other tricks like that available to me? While whoever it was in the media was just getting blasted for not paying taxes on, I forget what it was, but that was interesting. Hey, all right, I'll wrap it up there. Pleasure hanging out with you guys here today. We will be back tomorrow to do it all over again. And in the meantime, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. See ya.